all right, all the tools are here. The engine's built. Now it's time to add some gas and start to grow the company. So I always love I call it a 0 to 1 story, because LOXO had been fully almost word of mouth growth, very small team getting started. They were focused on building the best product possible. So a lot of emphasis went into the product team and the customer success team. So before Refine Labs, they didn't do much of any marketing. I mean, maybe a newsletter here and there from the customer success team, but there were no dedicated marketing efforts. So Refine Labs, we started up with them in about mid Q3 of last year. And so you can see a pretty quick, like, before Refine Labs, after Refine Labs, before marketing, after marketing was applied. We generated 2x the revenue in a quarter from before and after that. We have a 30-day sales cycle roughly. So it's nice to be able to quickly understand, like, what's the delta between, like, are things working or not. In terms of hand raisers, so we're dual motion, product led, sales led. Same kind of thing where we saw about just shy of 2x hand raisers from turning on, getting in front of people, and a lot of anecdotal evidence. So we had a conference over in London last month that our UK team was at, and they said that people were coming to their booth just like, I keep seeing LOXO all over the place, and I had to come see you just to check out, like, what is it that you all are about? I've never come across you or anything. So it's those little bits where you just start to hear and see, like, things are clicking. It's coming together. But yeah, it's all in aggregate been very positive. And so they got to a point where it was like, all right, all the tools are here. The engine's built. Now it's time to add some gas and start to grow the company. So even when I first jumped in, win-loss analysis, like, we win at 75%. That's unbelievable. And that's just from, like, an opportunity being created. So that tells you the problem isn't, like, product market fit, messaging, anything like that. It's how do you get more people to see the product, to understand the value. And so that's where it's just like, all right, Refine Labs is the best of the best when it comes to demand gen. So Matt brought us, he's our CEO, said, hey, want to partner with you all, help us build this out so we can start to chip away at the market. And he's got some ambitious goals around how much market share he wants to earn in the next 1 to 5 years. So we're definitely working towards achieving this together. When it comes to partnering tactically, where do you prioritize your time, your energy, your effort? So one thing that really played into our favor, I know at Refine Labs, we love to talk about LinkedIn ads. They're good. They're great for B2B. Layer onto that our core market is recruiters. Where do recruiters spend their time? On LinkedIn. So you've got this, like, 1-2 punch setup where it's like, all right, I'm going to bring in the best agency for LinkedIn. Plus, that's where our market already spends their time. And that's the first thing that we'd always ask is, like, where do your customers spend their time? Hopefully it's LinkedIn. So it's really comforting. And I've worked with agencies before I was even at Refine Labs, where it's like, you're one of 50 clients and you're trying to figure out how are they doing everything in 20 minutes a day for us. I don't quite believe it. So that's the other thing with Refine is I know that the team, I'm one of 3, 4, 5 potential customers that they're managing, and I know how they do work. So it's like, I'll tell them, here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to achieve. And I don't have to worry about coaching them or not having the skills or anything else. Like, they are very, very, very good at what they do in the platform. So from there, it's just like small strategic tweaks, but I don't have to be going in there wondering, like, is the bid strategy set up right? Do they have the proper exclusions in place? From a tactical standpoint, when you're comfortable knowing that, like, they've got your back, they're probably going to teach me more things than I'd be able to teach them. That's a really good position to be in. Literally the first month that we turned on ads, we had a good sense of the ICP and everything else. Hand raisers grew by over 50%. So during that time frame, we did have a dual motion demo request, and it was a freemium setup. We were about 50-50 split over time, just like which people would come in, and it continued at pretty much that rate. So saw growth there, and it has steadily increased quarter over quarter since then. Q1, we continued on that growth path. We grew by another 50% in terms of hand raisers there, but we'll caveat one part of that, and this is something I learned at Refine Labs. When you have really big announcements or big news that happen, it's not always just you're paid. There are other amplifiers. So say you're a startup and you raise a new series, like, you're going to get a lot more attention. Things get picked up there. So we had a huge announcement in March when we really pushed and doubled down on our PLG motion, where we're effectively giving away our applicant tracking system and recruiting CRM for free forever, which is unheard of in the industry. So a lot of interest came in from that. And the PLG side, we had a lot of signups for it. So that what used to be 50-50 is now closer to probably about 75-25 in terms of who are coming in from the product motion versus the sales motion. We're about 80-20 creation to capture. LinkedIn, the size of our audience is there relative to our spend. I could spend even more on that. And I know that it works. We have self-reported attribution, anecdotal evidence. We use Gong. Like we hear, I saw your ad. I was on LinkedIn. That continues to come up time and again. So it's like, we know that's working. Let's keep pushing there. So we've identified a couple like really high intent terms that we want to go after, but the returns on those relative to what we're seeing on social and just educating the market. And again, our biggest hurdle is not like getting people across the line. It's just getting people to hear about us. So that's how I've prioritized some of the spend. But those have been the two biggest. And then right now, even with the Refine team, we're experimenting not running any branded campaigns at all. So we have a pretty unique name, LOXO, and the spend was probably about 75% of our search spend. So I'm like, let's just figure out more keywords at work. If people are going to come to us, they're going to come to us. And we've validated this with the data. Direct traffic, organic traffic, it's all the same. Hand raiser traffic hasn't fluctuated. So like, cool, let's add more fuel to the areas that we want to learn a bit more about. It's been fun to be able to have more money in the creation side because that's where we get to be creative, have fun, do more than paying Google off for bribery. Figure out where your market is, go deep there first. I mean, we could go to 1 million channels, 1 million platforms. We're on 3. That's it right now that we're dedicating like money, effort to, especially as a team of 1. I don't have time to be creating content for 5 different platforms. Just don't spread yourself too thin, especially when you've got a small budget. You're not going to get any results at that point.